Stop everything for a moment. Today is no ordinary day. If this message has found you, it is because the universe has woven its threads to reach you right here, right now. I am Shihin Yi, and I can tell you this is not random. You are being called to awaken a part of yourself that has long waited in silence, a force quietly shaping your path, ready to guide you toward mastery. In this video, you will uncover teachings that have been guarded by Shaolin masters for centuries, hidden in plain sight. You will learn how stillness can sharpen your mind, how challenges can become secret teachers, and how energy, intention, and timing can align to unlock your true potential. These are not abstract concepts. They are practical, profound tools to navigate life with clarity, courage, and calm. Few know that Shaolin wisdom goes beyond martial skill. It reveals the subtle art of observing the unseen currents of life, of bending the mind without breaking it, and of transforming ordinary moments into gateways of insight. You will discover the quiet power that emerges when discipline meets reflection, when patience confronts chaos, and when service becomes a mirror of personal mastery. Stay with me until the end, because each principle you learn today is a key. Each story, each reflection is a subtle signal waiting for the one ready to receive it. By the time this video concludes, you will see how the universe has chosen you for something greater, something deeply aligned with who you are meant to become. Welcome to our channel, Shaolin Soulfire. Here, ancient wisdom meets modern awakening. Subscribe and join this journey because your path is calling, and the time to answer has arrived. Sometimes, the quietest moments speak the loudest. If you are seeing this today, it is not by chance. Life moves in patterns, subtle yet deliberate, and the universe leaves signs for those who are willing to notice. Each synchronicity, each encounter, each sudden thought carries a message, an invisible thread connecting your inner path to the world around you. Consider the way a leaf falls from a tree. At first it seems random, yet it lands in a place perfectly suited for the next season of growth. Life works in this way. Small coincidences, fleeting glimpses, or feelings you cannot explain are not accidents. They are whispers guiding you toward what you must see, hear, and do. There was a monk in the mountains who would walk the same path each morning, noticing nothing at first. Then one day, a pattern revealed itself. A stone out of place, a bird lingering longer than usual, the wind carrying a new scent. He realized these were not merely occurrences. They were messages. The universe had been calling him all along. In our own lives, the signals are quieter, subtler. A person enters your day with a word that shifts your perspective. A page in a book opens exactly where you need guidance. A moment of discomfort forces reflection. These are not coincidences. They are invitations. Trust them. Do not dismiss the small signals, for they are the maps to your greatest transformations. A single insight, discovered in the silence of observation, can ripple outward and redirect the course of your life. The universe has noticed your path, and it waits with patience, offering signs for those ready to see. Stay aware. Each moment carries the weight of purpose, if only the mind is quiet enough to perceive it. In the heart of every storm, there lies a space untouched by chaos. The Shaolin masters teach that true strength is born not from motion but from stillness. Before a strike is delivered, before a decision is made, the mind must find its center. Without this calm, action is blind, scattered, and easily undone. There is a story of a young disciple who rushed into every exercise with fervor, striking the air, moving his body with relentless energy. Yet, each motion fell short, unaligned, and heavy with tension. One evening, the master led him to a quiet pond. He instructed the disciple to sit and watch the water, to breathe, and to let the reflections settle. Hours passed. The disciple felt restless, eager to act, to do. But in that quiet, he began to notice the subtle patterns, the way ripples expanded, then faded, the way light shifted with the breeze, the way stillness allowed the pond to mirror the world clearly. When he returned to practice the next day, his movements had changed. Each strike flowed effortlessly, guided by clarity rather than force. Stillness had become strength. Moments of pause are often misunderstood as inactivity, but in truth, they are preparation. In stillness, the mind sharpens, focus deepens, and intuition awakens. The chaos outside may rage, yet the inner world remains steady, a silent observer that knows what to act upon and when. Disciplined stillness is not avoidance, it is mastery. It teaches patience, timing, and presence. It reminds us that speed and impulse rarely produce excellence, but deliberate calm, combined with intent, produces results that endure. In the quiet, the seeds of power are sown, ready to emerge when the moment is ripe. The body may move, but the mind's stillness directs every action, transforming ordinary effort into artful mastery. The mind often rushes, chasing impulses, reacting to every flicker of emotion. Yet, the oldest masters remind us that true freedom is found not in action alone, but in observation. To watch the mind without judgment is to step back from the currents of life and see them clearly, as they truly are. There is a story of a young monk who grew frustrated with his own anger. Each day, small irritations consumed him, and he felt trapped by his reactions. One morning, the elder guided him to a quiet courtyard and asked him to sit in silence. "Do not fight the thoughts," the elder said. "Do not cling to them. Watch them as clouds pass across the sky." At first, the disciple resisted. Thoughts of blame, fear, and doubt surged, demanding attention. Slowly, he began to notice them without being drawn in. He saw patterns in his mind, triggers he had never recognized, and the fleeting nature of every emotion. In observing, he discovered choice. Observation transforms instinct into wisdom. When the mind is aware, it can act with intention rather than react blindly. Anger becomes insight, fear becomes caution, and desire becomes guidance. The world ceases to control the observer. Instead, the observer moves with understanding. Life is not a series of events to suffer through, but a classroom where every experience teaches a lesson. To watch like a student is to embrace curiosity, to meet challenges with attention rather than resistance. Discipline is not only in action, it is in the quiet vigilance of the mind. Each moment spent observing without judgment strengthens mastery, allowing clarity to rise above confusion. Freedom emerges not from changing the world, but from understanding the self, one mindful breath at a time. True mastery is rarely forged in moments of spectacle. The Shaolin masters teach that discipline is the silent ally, unseen yet powerful, guiding every step of the path. It is not the dramatic gestures or sudden bursts of effort that define greatness, but the small, consistent actions repeated day after day. A young disciple once sought the secret to mastery, expecting a profound revelation or a hidden technique. The master led him to the training hall and instructed him to sweep the floor, clean the temple, and repeat basic exercises with care and precision. The disciple grew impatient, questioning how such simple tasks could hold any power. The master only smiled and said, "The river carves the stone not through force, but through persistence." Over months, the disciple returned to these simple practices. Each day, he grew stronger, more precise, and more mindful. Gradually, he realized that his body and mind had transformed. The smallest, steady efforts had compounded into skill, focus, and resilience. Discipline had quietly shaped him, like invisible currents shaping a mountain stream. This is the wisdom of the ancients. Habits are the architecture of destiny. Each intentional action, no matter how small, builds a foundation for future strength. Patience, consistency, and mindfulness in everyday practice are what separate the fleeting from the enduring. Discipline is not rigid obedience or suppression of desire. It is a loyal companion that guides energy, sharpens attention, and channels effort toward meaningful growth. Even in silence, even without recognition, it works steadily, unseen but unyielding. When mastered, it allows the mind to act with calm purpose, the body to move with effortless precision, and life to unfold with clarity. Greatness emerges not in the dramatic, but in the quiet rhythm of consistent devotion. Every difficulty carries a hidden lesson, if only it is approached with calm and presence. Life's challenges are not obstacles to avoid, they are mirrors, reflecting the parts of ourselves that remain unseen. The Shaolin teachings remind us that the path to mastery is shaped not in comfort but in confrontation with the trials that test patience, courage, and clarity. A young monk once struggled with rigorous training. Each day brought fatigue, mistakes, and moments of doubt. Frustrated, he wished the path were easier, the lessons gentler. The master observed him quietly and said, "The mountain does not move for you. You must learn to move with it." Slowly, the disciple began to shift his perspective. Every hardship, the aching muscles, the missteps, the moments of failure became a teacher. He learned to observe his reactions, to steady his breath, and to face discomfort without resistance. Mindfulness transforms struggle into understanding. When pain or frustration arises, it is not a signal to flee, but an invitation to look inward. In these moments, the mind is tested and the spirit is refined. The external challenge reveals the internal imbalance, allowing adjustment, growth, and insight. Hardship is a laboratory, and life is the experiment. Patience grows when waiting is unavoidable. Strength develops when the body is pushed beyond its comfort. Wisdom arises when the mind sees clearly amidst chaos. Each trial, once resisted or resented, becomes a stepping stone toward mastery. To embrace challenges is not to welcome suffering blindly, but to recognize that every struggle contains a path to deeper understanding. Discipline, reflection, and awareness turn adversity into guidance. The trials of life are not punishments. They are precise instruments, shaping resilience, patience, and insight, quietly sculpting the soul into alignment with its highest potential. The body and mind are not separate from the world. They are conduits through which life flows. In Shaolin philosophy, energy is the bridge between inner intent and outer reality. When the mind is scattered, the body tense, or the spirit restless, the world feels chaotic and unyielding. But when energy is balanced, clarity emerges, and life moves in harmony with the opportunities around you. A disciple once approached the master, burdened with frustration and confusion. Each attempt to act seemed to falter, and every decision felt misaligned. The master led him through breathing exercises, slow movements, and moments of quiet reflection, teaching him to sense the flow of energy within his body. At first, the disciple felt nothing but tension. Over time, however, he began to notice subtle shifts. His thoughts became clearer, his movements lighter, his decisions more confident. By aligning his energy, the external world seemed to respond in kind. Doors opened where before there were barriers, and challenges transformed into possibilities. Energy alignment is not mystical, it is practical mastery. When breath, body, and mind move in concert, the smallest action carries intention, and even subtle effort has amplified effect. Awareness of energy allows one to recognize the currents of life, to step where resistance is weak, and to act where momentum is strong. Discipline and mindfulness are the tools that cultivate this alignment. Regular practice, posture, breath, meditation, reflection sharpens perception and strengthens the flow of inner energy. The world mirrors this inner state, revealing opportunities to those whose energy is steady, balanced, and conscious. By learning to align energy, the path becomes less about struggle and more about attunement. Action is no longer forced or scattered, but responsive, fluid, and precise. Inner harmony becomes the foundation for outer success, and the universe, once distant and unpredictable, begins to move in quiet collaboration with your intent. Every movement, every word, every choice carries a hidden weight when guided by intention. In the Shaolin tradition, action without awareness is like water poured onto sand. It leaves little trace. But when each step is rooted in conscious purpose, even the smallest gesture resonates far beyond the immediate moment. A young disciple once struggled with daily practice, performing routines mechanically, unaware of the energy behind each movement. The master observed silently, then said, "The body may move, but without intention it remains empty. Infuse meaning into every breath, and your actions will carry strength beyond their form." The disciple began to focus, breathing with attention, aligning every movement with clear purpose. Slowly, the exercises transformed. They became precise, flowing, and alive. Even the simplest task, once mundane, now held depth and clarity. Mindfulness is the lens that sharpens intention. To act with awareness is to see the subtle consequences of choices, to recognize the unseen currents that ripple from every decision. Intention is not grandiose or dramatic. It can be as simple as the care taken in speaking, in walking, in sitting, or in serving others. Yet these small deliberate actions compound, shaping character and guiding life toward alignment. The ancients understood that mastery is woven from countless intentional acts. Discipline is not merely repetition, it is repetition with consciousness, a steady cultivation of focus, clarity, and purpose. Life unfolds differently when attention and intention merge. Obstacles soften, clarity deepens, and influence spreads quietly but powerfully. Act with purpose in all things, even the small daily choices that seem insignificant. Each mindful gesture becomes a thread in the tapestry of mastery, connecting inner strength to outer reality. When intention guides action, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, and the path forward reveals itself with quiet precision and power. Clutching too tightly often brings the very resistance we seek to avoid. In the quiet halls of Shaolin temples, masters teach that true power lies not in force, but in release. Fear, resentment, and doubt act like weights, anchoring the spirit to stagnation. Growth demands the courage to let go, to loosen the grip on outcomes, and to trust the flow of life itself. A young monk once struggled with a task that seemed beyond his ability. Each attempt was clouded by worry and frustration, and every failure deepened his attachment to control. The master invited him to sit beneath the ancient trees, feeling the wind shift through the branches. "Watch how the leaves fall," the master said. "They do not resist the current, yet they reach the ground exactly as they must." There is power in surrender, for it aligns the world with the path of the one who releases. Letting go does not mean abandoning effort or becoming passive. It is an active discipline of the mind and spirit, a conscious choice to release attachment to outcomes while remaining fully engaged in the moment. In doing so, space opens, space for clarity, for guidance, and for opportunities that would have been obscured by grasping and tension. The ancients understood that the universe responds to readiness, not force. When the mind surrenders, the heart can perceive subtle signs, the body can act with ease, and intuition can guide decisions with precision. Resistance fades, and alignment emerges naturally, like water flowing into the channels prepared to receive it. Surrender cultivates patience, trust, and humility. It transforms fear into discernment and doubt into wisdom. By letting go, the path forward becomes visible, not through control, but through openness, allowing blessings and insight to arrive in ways the mind alone could never engineer. Growth requires release, and release becomes the doorway to everything the universe wishes to give. Mastery is often imagined as a solitary pursuit, a personal achievement measured in skill or knowledge. Yet the Shaolin tradition teaches a deeper truth. True mastery flows outward. It is not complete until it touches others, until discipline and insight are shared through acts of service and compassion. A young disciple once focused entirely on perfecting his techniques, practicing tirelessly, yet he felt an emptiness despite his growing skill. One day, the master asked him to assist a group of villagers with rebuilding a bridge. At first, the disciple resisted, seeing it as distraction from his training. But as he labored, guiding, lifting, and teaching others, a quiet transformation occurred. The movements he had practiced alone became alive in collaboration. His mind grew clearer, his heart more open, and his understanding of discipline deepened through serving others. Mastery was no longer self-centered. It became expansive, connected, and meaningful. Discipline and compassion are inseparable. The body, mind, and spirit, strengthened through rigorous practice, reach their full expression when applied to the betterment of others. Small gestures, teaching a skill, offering guidance, listening with attention, carry the same weight as grand actions. The energy cultivated within oneself multiplies when extended outward, creating ripples that return in unexpected ways. Ancient wisdom reminds us that greatness is not hoarded. Elevating others elevates the self. The path of mastery is a shared journey, where knowledge, patience, and clarity find their ultimate purpose in service. By acting with intention to support, guide, and uplift, the practitioner aligns personal growth with universal flow. In service, discipline becomes alive. Mastery transforms from solitary skill into harmonious influence. True achievement is measured not by what is gained alone, but by the strength, understanding, and light imparted to those touched along the way. The path of the master is never solitary. It is a path walked in connection, reflection, and contribution. The river never rushes, yet it reaches the sea with unwavering certainty. So too does the universe move with its own rhythm, a rhythm that often feels slow or hidden to the human eye. The Shaolin masters teach that impatience clouds perception, scattering energy and blinding the mind. True strength emerges not from haste, but from patience, preparation, and the wisdom to act at precisely the right moment. A young disciple grew anxious, eager to demonstrate his skill and claim mastery. Each day without recognition felt like failure, and frustration gnawed at his focus. The master observed quietly and said, "A sword is sharp only when it is forged patiently. Strike too soon and the edge is lost. Strike too late and the moment has passed. Timing is everything." The disciple struggled to understand, but gradually he learned to watch, to wait, and to prepare. When the moment finally arrived, his action was effortless, precise, and powerful, not because he hurried, but because he was ready. Life works in this same way. Every encounter, every opportunity, every insight arrives when the conditions align, often unseen and subtle. Impatience can force action before clarity emerges, while trust allows the mind to perceive patterns, recognize openings, and act with maximum effect. Each pause is not wasted, it is preparation, a quiet cultivation of readiness that aligns inner energy with external circumstance. To see this message today is no accident. The universe has chosen this moment for awareness, for reflection, for alignment. Trusting timing means releasing the need to force outcomes, to rush understanding, or to demand certainty. It is an invitation to flow with life's natural rhythm, cultivating patience and clarity. When preparation meets opportunity, action becomes effortless, and the path forward reveals itself with perfect precision, like a leaf carried gently on the current, arriving exactly where it must. Being chosen by the universe is not a reward for ego, but a call to awareness, discipline, and alignment. Every synchronicity, every subtle sign is an invitation to awaken, to see clearly, act with purpose, and live each day with intention. Take a moment to reflect on the lessons shared today. Stillness is strength. Observation brings freedom, discipline shapes destiny, challenges become teachers, energy and intention guide action, surrender opens space, service expands mastery, and trust in timing allows life to flow naturally. These are not just ideas, they are tools for living with clarity and balance, ways to bring ancient wisdom into every choice, every moment. Today marks more than just a day on the calendar. It is a gentle nudge to step fully into your inner power, to honor the path that has led you here, and to act in alignment with the guidance the universe provides. Begin with small, conscious steps. Observe your thoughts, align your energy, act with purpose, and extend compassion to others. Each moment is an opportunity to embody mastery quietly, steadily, and fully. May this understanding guide you gently, helping you move through life with calm, clarity, and courage. If this message resonated with you, join our community, support the journey, and continue exploring the teachings of Shaolin wisdom. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Like, subscribe, and allow the light of awareness to grow within you, moment by moment, breath by breath.